Hello viewers, this is Just Fake Network TV, a home of accurate news and current news. For those who subscribed to our channel, God bless you for subscribing. And if you're yet to do so, please kindly press the subscription button below. And now the news in details. Sheikh Gumi said, "We've learnt our lessons with Buhari." Says 2023 won't be about North, South or East. Advocates hold politicians give ways to new blood, give reasons Boko Haram has not been defeated. Fearless and one of the few outspoken Islamic scholars in the country who is from the north, Sheikh Gumi, is not happy on the situation Nigerians have found themselves lately. Therefore, in this interview with Sunday Sun, he said that the 2023 election should produce a crop of smart and intelligent Nigerians who can inject fresh blood in the electoral system, as well as for INEC to be allowed to deploy technology in full expert. How do you think Nigeria has fared since return of democracy in 1999? He said, "Unfortunately, since 1999, I have not actually settled in Nigeria. I came back in 2011, so to rate the government within that period will not be proper for me. However, I can speak on what I have seen from 2011 to 2019. Generally in the world, there is development. I'm just paying my electricity bill through my computer. So, things are moving generally in the world. So we expect governance to be more efficient and show more competence. But unfortunately, when it comes to governance, there is retrogressions. Things are supposed to improve because science and technology have brought development close to the people. Government is retrogressing simply because we don't have the right people in the right place and at the right time. Nigeria's situation now is worse. People are poorer, sick, and every week we bury somebody. What is the problem? Typhoid, malaria. Somebody's daughter, a 6-year-old, died. She was sick, vomiting, and we took her to the hospital, but she was discharged from the hospital because there was no bed. This is the kind of debt we are having. People cannot pay school fees for their children. Feeding is difficult, so all the indices of good governance are terrible." Prior to the 2015 election, one of the agitations of Nigerians was issue of security. How far now? Are we making progress as we should? Yes, there is improvement in Boko Haram fight, but not defeat. The poor governance is making Boko Haram liable to come back in full force, and that will be terrible. This is because Boko Haram is not alone. There are forces behind them. They have the determination. The Boko Haram soldiers believe in their commander because he sees himself as commander at that end. But Nigerian soldiers are not happy. Their generals are flying jets all over. The soldiers on ground should feel that they are fighting for their countries, that things are going to be better. He has his equipment, he has his allowances paid, his students are fine, then he will fight, but he is demoralized. On the other side, the commander that is pushing the fight is not struggling with his soldiers. Their morale is higher, their motivation is higher, coupled with religious flavor added to it. If we want to fight them, we should always add religion flavor by getting Muslims and Kanuri that speaks the same language. Issues of kidnapping is no longer news. Here in the northwest, Kaduna to be specific, people are being picked up in their homes for ransom. We have heard about it. They are picking people at home. They knock at your door and pick you. We have been paying ransom because people come because they are poor. They start begging. I'm just surprised someday who controls nothing can help, whereas you cannot access the man who is sitting on the budget. This is what I've been telling people, that look, we don't need old politicians in Nigeria. We need new faces, new page, then Nigerians can contribute. But when you bring old wines into a new bottle, it is still the same thing. They come with problems and psychological trauma because all politicians are traumatized somehow. They come with hunger, they come with revenge, they come with hatred, they come with all these kind of things and spew heat. Old politicians should help us by stepping down so we can have a new people across board. Let me give you an example with Zamfara. By accident, a new governor came who has not been in the stream because people don't know him. So the nomadic Fulani, not all Fulani, and the settlers, they were killing one another over a long time, even before the administrations of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Now Zamfara has a neutral figure who can call for a truce. We need that neutral figure since 2011, when we have election characterized by bloodshed. I said Buhari and Jonathan should have moral obligation not to contest because people died. Let us put fresh faces so that we can all contribute. We can all contribute. People don't listen because they are blind. So it is very unfortunate. This is the situation we are in. Talking about new faces, 2019 election has come and go. We are now looking forward to 2023 with all political zones through their heavyweights already agitating for interest ahead of 2023. What is your position in all of this? I don't think regional politics is more important now than stability because the bride is seriously sick. The bride is in comatose in the hospital and you are talking about the wedding. Let the bride survive first. Nigeria is not about who leads from which region. They are all cliques. It doesn't matter who is there, whether northerners or southerners. Once they are there, they enjoy themselves. Some people are making money in this poverty and hardship. So it is not about north, south or east. It is about people who can galvanize and put people together. The north has learnt its lesson. Now, north is worse it and with Buhari. Jonathan was building 150 Almajiri school, 9 universities. In the north, he was doing things. This Kaduna-Abuja rail, although the late President Umar Yar'Adua stated it, so let's have somebody who can do it. That person must be alert, intelligent, and with a large heart. He should not take revenge. He should be able to forgive. He should be able to rehabilitate and not killing or imprisoning. His mind should not be about catching people, but forgiveness and correctness. Above all, he must be intelligent. Religions has always played a role. In fact, religions is politics, and politics is religion. There are two concepts. You manipulate religions to get political power. You can manipulate political power to entrench religion. But most politicians who manipulate religions are neither Christians nor Muslims. This is their secondary concern. They want to get power, get foreign medical treatment for themselves and their families. A good politician is the one that uses religion as stabilizing factor because religion calls for brotherhood, neighborhood, mercy, integrity, and so on. These are what religion calls for. Some use politics to put religion morality in people. During the First Republic, there was such in the North. Sardauna was doing that. INEC has never been in worse position than now as I know. Now you can make bank transaction through transfer in millions. I can tell you that 90% of Nigerians, their 10,000 naira is valuable than the votes they carry. I meant to say that money is very valuable. Now, technology has reached a stage where you can transfer millions with your phones and that is safeguarded. So why can't I vote with my phone? In essence, the government deliberately neglected INEC to be in a bad shape without giving it the legal framework for development. They are not doing anything to see that election is free and fair. And unfortunately, even this way we conduct election, people are being killed. So if you are in government and people die during election, you are responsible. How can people be dying while voting? Imagine an officer who is in service in Kano came to me with deep injury. I asked him what happened and he said he was sent to monitor a polling booth. Quoting him, he said, "Some soldiers came. I identified myself with my identity card because I was not in uniform, but they told me they don't care. They hit me and I lost consciousness. That's happened during the last election in Kano. What I am saying is that for 4 years, what have they been able to do to make INEC more modern? If we can trust electronics media for our monies in millions, we should be able to trust it with our vote. Indians has about 800 million voters, and nobody will raise a finger that there is corruption when they vote. This is because the system is organized, but here they deliberately allowed it to have loopholes for manipulation. We have the money, we have the know-how, we have all we need to correct it. In 2015, I brought somebody from America. We held a conference at Jamji Hall where we brought political parties together. We told INEC that here is a Nigerian who had developed a software that can guarantee 100% free and fair election. But they didn't allow that. There is too much politics in Nigeria, and that is why we need new faces. One thing that they don't know is that if you don't develop people, if you don't educate people, but only your children, these people you have neglected will jump into your house, no matter how tall your fences are. Ma'am, kill or kidnap you. And that is what is happening today. Somebody drew my attention to the ideas of killing anybody on the stead of hate speech. Who defines hate speech? That should be left for the judges to determine. But look at the judges. Look at what Supreme Court is. So you want to squeeze Nigeria to keep quiet? A task force following people to close borders, but no task force following kidnappers to catch them. There is mismanagement. There is misplacement of priority. In this kind of situation, people will start joining Boko Haram because they have seen the real faces of the government. This is what's happening in Afghanistan that pushed people to call on Taliban to protect them from government. They didn't fight. They were called to protect them against the government. People are demonstrating and you are opening fire on them. So, how can Boko Haram be stopped? People should feel comfortable and safe with the government. But when insurgents have human face than the government, then there is problem. This is what's happening in Iraq until when the superpower came to destroy the ISIS. Otherwise, the people living with them are safe from kidnapping. They are safe from this and that. Do you understand it? We want our government to be safe, to be sound, and do what is right. They should consider the people. They should lower educational costs. Food should be cheap and sufficiently cheap. And quality medicine to treat the people because the people are dying. Collectively, we are suffering. We are suffering more than Iranian and all that. People are dying, but because it is everyone to his predicament, people don't know what they are dying. Buhari, as a president, has a predetermined mind on how he wants to run his government, squeeze corrupt officials, close borders. This is what he has in mind, and that is what he is pursuing to the letter. If you want to get close to him, tell him this man is in jail, and he will tell you that is good. You cannot catch all the thieves in Nigeria. You can only catch those ones you don't like. But God is God of justice. You either catch all or pardon all, and then you draw a line. If you draw a line, whoever commits the same mistakes can be tried by law and not your personal decision. He knows styles. He knows what is happening and he likes it. This is his styles. This is the style I don't like myself, and that is why I voiced out my opposition. If I have not spoken, people will say, look at these people. They have kept quiet, and now we are suffering. Nobody can point a finger at me, and I thank God for that. So we need to rethink. We need to come back together to save this country because it is a beautiful country. What do you think about Nigerians? Nigerians don't learn lesson. They are very sentimental. They can be naive in their judgments. There is criminality all over the place, including churches and mosques. I have been told about a 70-year-old man that impregnated a small girl in the mosque, in his town, and in the church. You don't need to be told. We need to come back, sit down, and repent. We can then bring people who are neutral, compassionate, intelligent, hardworking. Let's put our hands together to salvage this country. The crop of politicians we have now cannot help us. Their heads are hot. We need cool-headed people who will look at things holistically and move the country forward. A wounded lion cannot take this country out of the wood. Wow, so my viewers today, what is your own opinion about this? Because I believe Sheikh Gumi is actually saying the truth. Thank God he was able to voice out his mind. The government that we have today is a very bad government. It is just God that can help us. We need a fresh blood person. We need a new person. We don't need old person. We need a new person. And I believe that God will help us in our country. God will change our country for a better Nigeria. So my viewers today, kindly drop your comments below, click on the subscription button, and also press the bell icon to get updates whenever we upload videos. Bye.